I teach focusing the way I use it in my own life, which is the mindful practice of using embodied intelligence to deal with whatever happens in life. So what is this embodied intelligence? Well, what's been very helpful is to see what neuroscience and evolutionary psychology have shown us. And I'm referring specifically to what Stephen Porges, the originator of the polyvagal theory, calls neuroception. That essentially, very early on, even as a baby, we have that ability to detect what is a friendly presence and what is a threat. So this is not an intellectual concept. This happens bottom up. This happens from the nervous system, feeling something that feels good, something that doesn't. Okay, so you notice how this has high survival value. So intelligence then builds on that, figures out what's good for us, what's not good for us, and, as we become more developed, more evolved, the ability to distinguish nuances of making choices that are more complicated. But all of this has an embodied basis. And so what the practice of focusing does is give us the ability to be in touch with that embodied sense instead of just reaping the benefits of it without being fully aware of where it comes from. In focusing, we become more able to get in touch with the bodily felt sense of a situation, and not just get in touch with it, but also process it. So the processing is something that's not, an intellectual endeavor like analyzing, cutting things. The analogy I would have for it is it's more like shaping up clay. You have this little ball of clay, and you're touching it, and it takes shape. And as it takes shape, you are able to say, oh, this is not quite right. And you change this and you change that until it feels right. So it's very tactile, very embodied. But at the same time, it leads you somewhere. It leads you to a concept. It leads you to a sense of where you are. So it's not an opposition between feeling and thinking. It's actually a wonderful way of combining both. And so this is why this course I teach is not just for beginners. I mean, of course, it's a great way, if you don't know anything about focusing, to get into it in a way that feels very natural and that you learn from practicing. And yeah, great, wonderful. But also, if you know focusing, this is a great way to actually come back and look at your practice in a different way so that you can reinvent focusing for yourself.